And today, I am excited. I didn't even know what type design was until I saw this guy trending on my Twitter timeline. So I'm excited not to have a product designer because those are the people dominating the design system, but to have a brand designer focused on type design. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome if you're a new subscriber. My name is Emmanuel Faith and this is another episode of Career Conversations. You do not know what Career Conversation is, don't worry, I'll tell you. Career Conversations is where we chat with professionals about what they do. You know how you know your friend and you know their job title but you don't know what they do every day? Well, that's why we have Career Conversation. If you check my previous video, I've had a chat with a brand storyteller, a product marketing manager, and a community manager. And today, I am excited. I didn't even know what type design was until I saw this guy trending on my Twitter timeline. So I'm excited not to have a product designer because those are the people dominating the design system, but to have a brand designer focused on type design. Hi.
Hi, Emmanuel. Thanks for having me.
Good to finally meet you.
Same here.
Thanks for saying hi, and thanks for accepting to be, on this channel.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I have a lot of as I'm looking at you, a lot of things are coming to mind. But I just say introduce yourself in few words.
All right. I'm not so good at introductions.
No, don't worry. This is not HR. I promise. This is not interview.
I mean, tell me about yourself.
Just say. So a good way I actually used to ask is, tell us something random we might not know about you.
All right. Okay, that's a good way to start. A random thing, or a thing random people would know about me, I guess.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Okay, I'm 6 foot tall. I mean, because a lot of people think I'm short, given to
your Twitter, Instagram.
They say I seem like a short person.
Did you consider modeling at some point or basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I considered, because growing up I wasn't really into sports aside football. Yeah, so and I mean I didn't envision myself as a tall person.
You were just growing up.
Yeah, so yeah. But I think if I had known, I probably would have ventured into basketball.
Playing Dallas at Dallas Wings now. But
I know, right? So
I already understand. But you're doing well where you are right now.
Thank you.
You're doing well done.
But aside that, I think, okay, one random thing people will know about me is most people think I mean, in terms of ethnicity, they think I am not Igbo.
Yeah, there are chances that someone will think you're Yoruba. I mean, you have Ojuju calabar.
I mean,
and then when I said I'm like Ojuju,
so
Ojuju calabar.
Everybody will make guesses aside the fact that he might be probably an Igbo guy. Most assumption is Yoruba or maybe
Minx, Delta, Edo.
Exactly.
Yeah, Edo especially.
Exactly. So I get Delta a lot of times.
Yes. So you're called Igbo?
Yeah, I'm from Enugu. Yeah.
I went to you people's. Do it.
Well, yeah, I know you had a good time, so let's.
I had a good time, except why don't you like pepper?
I grew up in Lagos, so I think I like pepper.
So half of my stew, I'm like, where is the
lacking.
pepper? Where is the pepper? And it's interesting because I also don't take a lot of pepper. So, for example, my friend, we buy food or something, I'm like, there's a lot of pepper in this.
Are you serious?
Yes, I don't take a lot of pepper. So, for me to go to Enugu...
Don't people find it odd that...
Yeah, some people find it odd. Yeah, even my friend was saying that, are you sure you're Yoruba? Like
exactly.
Sure? Yeah. So, for me, someone that does not take a lot of pepper, to go to Enugu and say there's no pepper.
Yeah, that's
the pepper was
one.
zero. But I really loved your okpa. My friends forced me to eat okpa.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, I loved the old redness of the city. I think I wrote a poem. I either wrote a poem or a non-fiction or medium.
Nice.
And if I haven't, I probably should. But Enugu was a good experience.
Nice,
yeah. So
nice.
that. What part?
I don't know if you.
So let me tell you. So I know Enugu, the local government, Enugu West, East. Then I know Ogu. Because I spent a lot of time at Ogu. Then where is Joino? Those are the names I can remember.
Did you get as close to Nsukka?
Yeah. Oh my God. How will I mention Enugu? I don't mention Nsukka. I went to Nsukka. So I went back. I actually went back. actually went back to Enugu. So a friend was getting married.
Okay.
Yes, I went back to Enugu. Now I'm trying to remember all the places. So I had to go to different villages for bridal rites and stuff. Yeah, so I went to Nsukka.
Well, I'm not from Nsukka, but like
you used it to gauge my knowledge.
Close, like neighboring
close to,
villages. With Nsukka. That's
the closest
landmark.
No, that's exciting. But it's good. So please, it's not your about.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, but it's great that you're actually like doing something that embellishes the tradition.
Yeah,
promotes it to the world. Yeah, so very curious question, because before I reached out to you, because what I'm trying to do again, like I said at the beginning, is to converse with as many professionals as possible. I was sure that I was going to bring a designer. I just didn't know which kind of designer. Yeah. So I don't want to jump guns. I saw your Kira, is that the correct pronunciation?
Kira, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this is brilliant. Okay, I have to bring this guy. Yeah, so why brand design? Why not products or something?
Okay, I mean, it's always a big question given that...
Yeah, given that that's where...
everyone is moving. And if you're not doing products, it's like you're probably an...
outcast. Yes. That's the word, sorry.
I guess so.
I think you're a good kind of outcast.
But I would like actually tried product at some point too. Because, there was that pressure of like, everyone is like moving towards that direction, and it seems that's where the money is at, and also at that point in time, a lot of like brands, nobody was trying to rebrand or
have a new identity.
It was like let's build a product.
Landing page.
Exactly. Let's build a product. Let's pitch this idea. Let's get funds. So brand design was much like an afterthought. And during that phase, I was like, maybe I should, take Figma and start moving rectangles and But when I did that at that point, it didn't work for me. I didn't really feel it. So I think for most parts, it's the reason why I still do brand and recently type design is how much that certain niche can make me like stretch my creativity. There's no limit per se to how far you can go with branding, and also with like type design. You can create from nothingness. Product design is, I'm not trying to also take shit, so I don't get...
They're amazing.
I don't get called out.
They're amazing. All they have to use,
But there's always a thing where like there's a structure towards how you create, There are already certain things in place, certain patterns that are much like...
frameworks that you have to follow.
Because, this is a certain user experience and this is how it should be. Exactly. So if you're with wild ideas and you want to go crazy, it doesn't give you that.
Imagine like brands we know, Glow say they want to become purple.
How does that work?
MTN say they want to become green.
Although it can be, but it will take a lot. But when it comes to product, there's always a structure like, how you interact with buttons and whatnot. And I don't know, I think I'm not that kind of person who would like to be boxed in. When I think about creativity, I'm like, how far can I go? Like, how can I see this and make it different? So, and I guess it's also because it's still paying me.
Well, that's true. Yes. We thank the Lord.
We thank the Lord. So, I hope there will come a time where I'm like,
No. Like they say, onward and upwards. Look.
Yes, we hope so.
That's super inspiring. Okay, then. So let's get into the meat of the conversation. How did you feel? So it was surprising for me because when I saw, what's the font before Ojuju? No, Ojuju came first. No, it wasn't Ojuju. Which one did I use to design this?
That was Ojuju.
Oh, okay, that was Ojuju.
Yeah.
By the way, I felt really delighted.
Thank
you. I went to the type font.
I saw it.
Ojuju.
I was so...
I'm like, yes!
I was so humbled.
No, that gave me a kind of joy. That, oh my God, yes, it's actually inside.
Yes.
Yes. So, what inspired it? what I mean, thank God we started a conversation with the whole tribal thing,
Yeah.
and I really loved that. That was I didn't plan that, but I love that we had that.
Mm.
So what I read, by the way, like I read through the thought process, and
Yeah.
it was surprising for me that they actually reached out to you.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought that you did it and then
Oh, no,
you.
no.
So I've done something for Google Maps before,
Okay.
but it was when I was done, I sent
Yeah.
it to them. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is great. Can you
Yeah.
do this and do this?" So
Yeah.
I used to God Sakwa T-Pain. What
I
have you
mean,
done?
you do a lot
So-
of things. Like you find yourself in a lot of red places.
So I used to like go to restaurant for the fun of it,
Yes.
and then put review on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Also, when I go to new spaces,
Yeah.
when I went to Enugu, for instance, I'm very sure there's a picture of Nsukka that I took on Google
Okay,
Maps.
cool.
But now we are focusing on survival.
Yeah.
So when I saw that Google actually reached out to you, I'm like, wow. So like, how did you feel? How did that happen?
So, yeah, I mean, it's always an interesting story to tell. I would say sometime last year, I kind of started to dabble into, type design, like, explorations per se. And I was doing brand design. Again, I didn't, because there are over 1 million fonts that exist in this world, and only a few. There's always this certain meme where designers are always downloading fonts, like, oh, this is nice font.
Please send us that meme. We'll put it up.
But it's only like 2 fonts they use in their entire life. So I was into like explorations, African explorations. Like I don't know, maybe it was a certain reawakening. I don't know what I'll call it, but I had done brand design for African brands, some African brand startups and whatnot.
He has an amazing portfolio, by the way.
Thank you.
I was warned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and at a certain point, when I would create for those brands, it's always a thing where I would have to take existing typefaces and tweak it, to make it feel African, or I would just have to create from scratch. And even those typefaces I would take, there was always this thing where, maybe you want to use an error sign, or like convey certain communication or information in Naira. Let's say you want to maybe maybe type in Yoruba, or what.
Naira.
You won't find certain we call them glyphs.
Okay,
Yes,
glyphs,
as the case may be. So I kept wondering, like, why should that be the case? I was like, maybe I could just create,
something
yes,
just for you
and
your
my
guys.
yes, Then I just thought about, like,
Your
maybe
guys.
have like Nigerian like languages and call it a day. And that was what actually drove me to start creating typefaces. Then I started off and it was just like, oh, I'll just do some letters, and also like some explorations how I would draw it. It was nothing serious because I kind of didn't see myself doing it as a full-time thing. It was like a side passion.
Yes, of course. Brand
Yeah,
is the
yeah. Brand is what exactly. Brand is what
brand
brings
is,
money.
exactly.
So-
Brand is the focus.
So I was like, okay. And after a while, I got reached out to by Simon Cowie. So Simon Cowie is he's a Ghanaian designer, and he's very heavy on African design, and culture, and like how we can elevate African design in general. Yes. So we had been mutuals years back, and I guess he kind of saw my exploration and like just reached out like, hey, Google fonts are trying to get African designers to create some fonts for, that kind of support African languages. And I was like, is this something I would be interested in?
I have been waiting for this. This is what I have been waiting for.
I mean, again, I did not also dream that, the plan would be, yes, that maybe I'll even work with Google Fonts or anything. I was just like, maybe I should create and push it out. Yes. So I was like, hell yes, I would be interested. And he was like, okay, send certain details like my portfolio and whatnot. And I sent what I created. This was sometime in, it was maybe first quarter, second quarter. That was when the conversation was had. And after that, it was radio silence,
Okay.
Yeah, like, well, exactly, we move on to other things. Then till like the third quarter, sometime in September, if I can vividly remember, then David Crossland, who actually leads the whole
Google Fonts.
Google
Yeah, I
Fonts,
think I
yes.
saw his name.
Yeah, he reached out to me. I was like, hey, recommendation from Simon. He said, you're into this and you would like to be a part of this. I was like, yes. And I'm like, okay, what do you have? What would you like to?
Do
Yes, and make open source. And then it struck me like, okay, I have to
this
do
is
something.
happening.
Yes, exactly. This is
happening.
actually, this is the
We are not
moment.
joking.
We have to secure this bag
We know this is
with
about
all
to
costs.
go down.
It's about to go down.
So yeah, I was like, okay. And at that time, I think I was planning to travel to my hometown because there was a wedding going on.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, what should I do? And something just struck. Okay, I have this certain exploration which I've been trying to design, but I kind of abandoned it. I went back to my drawing board. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a nice thing to pitch. I pitched it and like, oh yes, this is a nice idea. Right. So what do you call it?
Oh.
I was like, okay. I mean, it looks like it has this
Masquerade
microwave vibe.
vibe
So
and stuff.
why not call it
Ojuju.
Ojuju? I also wanted to call it Egungun
Yeah,
initially.
Ojuju is too short. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stop.
I was like, that's a
Actually,
long,
stop
too
Ojuju.
long. I was like,
Ojuju
no,
is-
let's make it
it's too
Ojuju.
short.
Yes.
It's too short. Then everybody remembers Ojuju Calabar.
Yes, exactly.
No,
so
no. Ojuju is more. No. That's a super,
Yeah.
super inspiring. I also feel like you've answered my next question, because my next question was going to be: do you think that your virtual presence, your personal brand, might have contributed to it?
yeah, I think for a good part it did, because I'm always this person who would share what's like work in progress.
Yes.
Anything I'm excited about creating, I'm like, oh hey guys,
Yeah, guys,
see, so at that time where I think it was, I never got to ask Simon like, oh, why did you reach out
Choose
to
me.
me? Yeah, I think that's a
I don't think
question
that
I'll
you
need
should,
to.
actually,
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
should.
think
But
I will.
I personally, from what I hear, also hear, I hear being online, I hear being virtually present, I
Yeah.
hear building in public,
Yeah.
I hear showing your work,
Yeah.
but I also hear maintaining networks and connections.
Yeah,
Because if
Yeah.
you didn't do good work,
Yeah.
it was a great. And I tell people that especially if you're an introvert, one of the great ways to do network is to have something of value.
yeah, exactly.
If you cannot connect with people, build
Yeah,
something
bring
of
them,
value.
yes, and they would be
come
attracted to you. Yes, definitely.
Because I think that the Ghanaian designer was a very pivotal part of this.
Yeah, it was, because I mean I look back and I feel like if I did not also like connect, if it was a case where I wasn't sharing
Yeah,
at
you
that
were
point in
loner,
time,
you were like
he
keeping it
would
to yourself.
he won't.
Someone will still
I would be in the
Nigeria.
back of his mind, at
Yeah.
that point in time. He won't be like, oh, this person is probably a potential towards creating or being on this project. You get me? So yeah, it's like consistently showing up, just connecting to, just having that value that people would be like, oh, I want to identify with this person. I want to like know what this person is about, that kind of thing.
That's exciting. The conversation is getting rich.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're working an unusual path. What challenges have you faced so far?
Oh, I mean, a lot. One is you get into a new industry and you're like, man, there's a lot of wala towards it. Like, one is how underrepresented,
Brand design.
not just brand, like type design in general.
Even
Since we're
type
talking,
design,
yes,
yes.
especially from like with people of, African origin. So there's always this thing where you're trying to even get a job, like a brand design job on a global scale, and it's like remote bots. You have to be in a certain location, so
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
as wide as you would imagine it, especially when you feel like your skill should suffice for a lot of things.
There are
You
other
know,
factors that
yeah, there are a
contribute.
lot of factors.
Plus 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Plus
I
2, 3,
mean,
4. Plus 2, 3,
this
4.
T-Pain economy
man.
and regime. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's the most surprising opportunity you've gotten because of this exciting project? They're like, oh, I reached out to you because I saw you do this. Or it might be a message, or maybe an event, a
mm,
speaking engagement.
yeah, I think now which would I call? I think having to. Are we talking about Ojuju or
No, just
general?
generally. Yeah. All the
So there's a point in time, and that was kind of my like wow moment. It was when I was initially like getting into I was into brand already or into design, but it was a case where I was like not really getting clients. I was like, "Ah, how do I, I would see people. Then Instagram was a thing where everyone was posting work, but it wasn't working for me, you know. And so I kind of thought about what ways can I like, put myself out there and also get clients. And that was when I kind of began to use Twitter.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So I posted a random walk, and that was my first international client at that point in time. It was like someone reaching out to me and willing to pay in dollars.
Wow.
Then I was like, I was hustling like Nigerian clients.
I get that. Then your first breakout
Yeah,
gig
that was my first breakout.
Right.
Like,
Thank you,
I-
Jesus.
it changed my life, and it kind of changed everything, like how I kind of saw the many possibilities of my job. Because I mean, before then I studied civil engineering. Yeah,
Computer engineering, civil
I
engineering.
studied civil engineering, and that was I served during COVID year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I served like in a site, like supervising a site.
I'm
And
trying to imagine you carry shovel right now.
and that
I
was the
said, put
move.
that block there.
You get me, and that was when I realized that this is not what I wanted to
Do your
do.
life. I get it. I can
So
imagine.
it was like I needed to make design work at that point in time. So yeah.
No, that's exciting. So let's talk, because again, we do this to hear people's story and also to show the audience that it's possible.
Yeah.
So if I was starting out a career in design, so we first talk in design,
Okay.
and then in brand design as
Okay.
a beginner, what are the things I need to know?
I feel like there is no one way towards like getting into design in general, because right now we are at a very um how would I put it, where like there's so much information,
Yeah, so I
you
think
know,
the word I used in my last video was the barrier to entry is low.
very low. Yeah.
So nobody's
Yeah,
mounting a gate.
exactly. So I feel like it all begins with curiosity, that you're curious enough to want to learn something, and also push yourself to knowing how to go about certain things. Um, Although I do have like a certain roadmap but it's to brand design.
Oh, okay, is it
Yeah,
a resource available?
yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, so we will link it
All
when
right,
we're
cool.
publishing the video.
But when it comes to design in general, like YouTube, I feel like it's also important. Like if you're like self-learning,
Yeah,
you make do with what is
available.
readily freely available.
Before you start taking
before you
courses.
before you start diving into
Do
like
courses
or
with $100,
mhm.
$100.
You get me. So you start off with YouTube. There are a lot of videos. You also, I feel like one thing that can shape how well your growth would be is the kind of people you follow. That you're also surrounding yourself with. Design content, how people design this, like why this decision was made in this design. Just try and build your mind into like why you should design and this way, and
Not another way.
yeah, you get
So
me.
be curious. Majorly, you're saying be curious into people's thought processes about their outputs.
Yeah, because about a lot of things. I feel like curiosity should
my-
drive.
I just remember, now that you mentioned, I just remember an interesting question I asked. But go ahead,
Alright.
go ahead.
Because about love, I feel like curiosity should be your drive. That like you want to like see how things work, why things work, and how design can solve such problems also in the world.
No, you're very right. One
Yeah.
of my favorite designers. Hi, Anna. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
I remember, interesting, so she was a campus ambassador, became an intern.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'm like, oh, why design? Why not any other thing? She was like, she just loves that design directs how we live life.
Yeah.
We complained about this chair when we sat
Yeah.
down because
Someone actually designed it.
Like,
Yeah.
why didn't you think of people that are 6 feet?
I
And then she
mean-
was just talking about like opening of doors.
Yes.
Right? Why does the door open to the left and not to the right?
Yes.
There's an emergency and in the restroom, which is the fastest way to
Exactly.
open the door, and that is design.
Yes.
So I feel like people need to have a broader mind about what design is beyond brand,
Yes,
products, marketing.
exactly.
Just think about how does design make life better? Because if you
Yes.
think that way, then you then think, how does design make my customers' life better? How does design make my clients' life better? In which
Definitely.
font will I rather see GT? Is it
Exactly.
art font or light font?
Exactly.
Yeah, so no,
Yeah.
that's super
I feel
exciting.
like also one thing is being consistent and also practicing. I feel that's very key if you want to really get started because I mean most people will just feel like, oh, you're entering design because design is, where the money is at.
That's a
But
wrong
if you don't put in the work, and effort and also show up as consistently as you can, um, I don't
get
know.
the money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the question I wanted to ask before I asked the next question was, it's very basic, but in one of the resources I searched for online, I will not tell you. You mentioned your inspiration, money, music, your mom.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk a lot. There are a lot of other things that you
Yeah.
mentioned, but because we're MMM.
The MMM, like
I'm like, yeah, I'm
that
gonna ask
Ponzi
you.
scheme of that year.
I'm gonna ask you. So
Yeah.
money, music, mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I know money. Poverty sat us down on the Saturday
Yeah,
morning.
I told us that
You need to put that in there. Poverty sat all of us down.
Poverty sat me down on a Saturday morning, one-on-one, and told me, said, you, I will kill you.
On the Saturday
Yeah, I
morning.
mean,
But I'm curious about music and mom.
yeah, I think that was when I was mentioning things I'm kind of inspired by.
Yes.
Yeah, money, obviously. Like, who is not inspired by money? Like,
Me.
music. I've always been. I grew up in a family where I grew up to music, basically. So there are cassettes.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
So you listen to radio.
Yeah, radios
Yeah,
too.
cassettes, I
Before
can imagine.
Apple was a thing and what streaming platforms. So I think music kind of influenced my growing up, even up till this moment. I love music. So be it in the lyrics, I feel like music is a very amazing way of expression, like artistic way of expression, where you're using words to kind of
Just
be in tune with, like you can hear a certain, and it reminds you of your,
environment,
yes, or
situation, memories.
the last time you kissed someone, or that heartbreak. So it kind of defines how I also create. I would like to, when I see design, I feel like it's also,
Should communicate
yeah,
things.
exactly. You see a design, it should communicate certain things to you.
By the way, just another confession.
Yeah,
I like gidigbo.
thank you.
Like I love how
Thank you.
like I can see it and literally imagine.
Yeah, how
gidigbo.
punchy
Like
it is. Thank you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate it. So the third will be my mom. I mean, my mom is my idol. Very cool woman, very sarcastic too. Yeah.
Can already imagine what growing up would look like.
Nah, it was crazy.
She would be
very-
like, honestly, I say, put it on my head.
Yeah, exactly. No, she was very sarcastic. Still is, anyways. But she's cool. I watched her. I think it's also a thing because maybe I don't know. Her only son.
Ah.
Yeah, out
So
of.
you get all the pampering and all the scolding.
I would say that.
simultaneously.
I don't say that.
Which part?
Not
do
only
you
child
agree
though,
with?
but
yes,
yeah.
the son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So perhaps there's always that like
Continuous interaction.
yeah that mother-son bond per se, but also like having to be with her for most parts of my life and watch her hustle, watch her be
Go through
very
things.
industrious. Certain habits I have is because of her. So yeah, her quest for not just being ordinary. She steps into a certain place and she kind of radiates this excellence. She's she actually was a trader at some point, a businesswoman as they'll call it. So she would get into an area and she's
See
a business exactly.
opportunities and she just explores.
Exactly, and it works for her, and that kind of made me realize that I can do this and it will
It
work
will
for me.
for you. Like
yes,
you can say, I'm not
I can
doing
get into type
product
design.
for
And,
people.
yes,
I get,
definitely.
yeah, I get.
So yeah, that's it.
Shout out to mommy.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I hope you enjoyed this conversation so far because I am. Before we step a bit away from design. Just two more questions. One, what do you wish designers created more? And two, what do you wish, like layman, people like me, know more about design?
I wish designers created more for themselves. Yes, I think that's how I word it. I feel like, I mean, it's important, and not to say like, you should, if you're designing for a client, you should not create for, you know, but I just feel like having to create more for yourself, because there's always this thing where, you know, we all start out trying to we start out creating for ourselves in a way that it will resonate with people who would employ us.
Yeah.
And when they do employ us, we stop
Then-
creating.
Oh my God, yeah, we now start doing what they want.
Yeah, and we
And
forget,
lose
like, you know,
ourselves.
that thing that actually drew people to you was you creating for yourself, you know, you being creative expression, having that expression.
Expression of creativity. That's
Yes,
what attracted people.
exactly, and we kind of lose that flair. So, and I feel like it kind of makes design, you know,
Monotonous.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
right word.
monotonous.
You know, because no one is trying to put a bit of like
Creativity,
energy,
something out of the blue.
yeah, it's just like like a
Oh my
designer.
God, it's like, do you know that I'm not sobbing, but there's a way, like if you go to landing pages of a certain industry,
Yeah,
all the landing pages
Yeah.
are similar.
yeah,
Same,
I mean,
yeah,
it's that. So I just wish like we could go back to that, maybe I don't know if it's an era, but you know, that phase where, you know, you enjoy creating because you're passionate about something. I feel like a lot of designers kind of lack the passion to create. I don't know, maybe it's
tipping.
the economy, or you know, the work
Because even the side
environment.
projects that are supposed to be like side
Yeah,
projects,
to keep you, you know.
they are now side hustles. You are
Oh.
making money from them, and then like totally understand. No, that's a very good
Yeah,
advice.
and to the second question,
Yeah, what do you wish people knew more about?
I mean, I wish people value design more, like, and don't see design as like an afterthought per se. Like, oh, it's just design. It's not just design, you know, because if you look around, everything is designed. Like,
Yes.
from the bed you sleep on and wake up from, to, you know, even the food you eat, you know, everything is designed. So, I mean, there should be value to what. I feel like we live in a very comfortable, like, so you don't really pay attention to certain
Until
things.
something goes wrong.
Yeah, you
For
know.
example, if this chair was comfortable, would not.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if we were like trying to balance ourselves all through. You know, you would start wishing that you had a better chair. You know.
Yes.
So I just feel like if there is more value in what, you know, design is, and what it does, you know, and also what it can do for people, for businesses, you know, we'll have a better world.
Okay, so we've enjoyed a really rich conversation about design, and I really loved it. I picked a lot of points, and I really loved where we landed on the fact that people need to value design more as a whole, because yes, design contributes to our well-being. Yeah, so let's talk about your style. I binged your Instagram page. I love that you started this with the fact that like you are a 6-foot model. And when I'm like, why are you not modeling? You might see I'm already adding model. 6 foot. Why are you not modeling? So walk us through your style. It's simple and comfortable.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. I mean, I do like fashion. I'm fascinated by fashion.
Yes.
I guess if design did not work for me, I would have tried modeling. Yeah. I still see myself like maybe in the future times, I would kind of maybe dabble into fashion in a way. I don't know. Maybe. But for my style, so recently or currently, it's, I don't know, maybe I'll call it
It's evolving.
yeah, it's evolving to this, I call it design daddy
kind of vibe.
environment, you know, where you're just like, I'm huge on like wide fits, you know, bogus trousers, loose long sleeves, you know, anything that I can breathe in, just be comfortable and
free
freely move, yeah.
yourself, yes.
And a lot of high boots,
I see
yes.
them.
I do
I
love
see
high
them.
boots, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to match your energy.
I mean, you tried.
Thank
E
you.
for effort.
Thank you. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like I already know the answer to this, but would you rather stay in Lagos or live outside Lagos?
I used to live outside Lagos. Is it like within Nigeria, outside
Yeah,
Lagos?
living within
Or
Nigeria, outside Lagos.
Japa outside Lagos?
No, not that one. Yeah, just outside Lagos.
Yeah, I grew up in Lagos all my life. I've lived in Lagos from the day I was born. So I'm in this toxic relationship with Lagos.
I love the toxicity.
Yeah, I do go out to I would travel out, then maybe I stay 1 week or 2 weeks
Yeah, like I'm
outside.
missing the
I'm like,
chaos.
yeah, I'm missing the chaos,
I'm missing the chaos.
Especially when you go to a very serene city,
Like
you're like,
or Shogbo.
I tell
Where people
you.
don't open shop till 11 a.m.
You,
I
no,
know they
I
work
used to have
gas.
culture shock over those things.
Yes.
So the first place I had the culture shock on that was when I went to school in the East, and you expect that, because as much as 4 a.m.
Lagos of Hope,
is
Lagos
alive,
Lab.
and you expect that maybe, you wake up and you want to get certain things, you expect that people will be, but, that's not the life. Also, when I went to, so I served, I did my camp in Cross River, and after a while, it's telling me maybe just chill in the
Chill a
city
bit.
in Calabar, and the ease with which they drive, nobody's behind them.
Nobody's honking like a madman.
Nobody was honking. I was like, this guy is too slow, and you're okay
They're
with
okay
it.
with it.
You get me?
The way the Lagosians will honk.
Yeah. So going out Lagos, I've actually learned that perhaps I was brought up in a very toxic city.
Yes, you are.
You know,
Sorry.
yeah.
There's one of my old videos where when I asked her, this is a question I asked my guys, I'm like, if you are in Lagos, know that you're not living a normal life.
Yeah, true.
And if you came from outside to Lagos, know that
Yeah.
people in Lagos are not normal.
No more. True.
So-
True. But to the question, I think if I would, maybe
Make a
I would,
final call.
maybe as a retirement thing,
Just leave Lagos.
I'll leave Lagos. But right
Go to your
now,
peaceful city.
yeah, and go to I'm
Yeah, but right
fed
now
up.
you're in Lagos Temple.
Yeah, I'm in Lagos.
Okay,
Temple.
fair enough. So, because I tried, I searched online, but I could not figure this out. I mean, thank God we talked about music. So maybe. So the question is always your favorite book, movie, and music. So you can answer the three or any of the three.
Okay.
So you can do 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or 3 over 3.
Favorite movie. I don't think I have a particular movie. Right.
So maybe the better way is, what movie do you think people should watch?
I don't think I'm in the.
Movie person.
I do watch movies, so I can say everyone should watch a Christopher Nolan's movie.
As long as it's there.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and I think I don't know. I like his movies because he kind of is a way he
Body's a character.
not is he's actually a director, so there's a way he tells a story in a fashion that it's not in a straight line, so he can tell a story from back, or from the middle. So, and it kind of makes me realize that you
Things
can,
just have to be straightforward.
yes, you can bend the principles to your taste.
I see why it's your favorite.
Yeah.
As you have been bending to African taste for global
yeah.
consumption.
I would say that for music, man, I listen to a lot of music.
So don't worry, it's fine. It's like
Yeah,
the books.
but I would, if I was to recommend, I would say John Bellion. Listen to John Bellion. Yeah.
Yeah, then book.
Book.
I'm
I won't
not
lie.
to read.
I'm not exactly. I don't
That's
forget
fine.
book now.
That's great. That's great. And so we have 2 more questions,
Yeah.
and the last question is for you to ask me any question.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the next question is, give any, so not branding, not designer, just give any career professional any advice.
The advice I would give is for people to not just be regular, and not and don't really bask in your comfort zone. There's always more if you really want to, attain a certain kind of excellence, or you see yourself having a bit of legacy, you know. Um, Normal is cliche. So
Go extra mile.
yeah, go a bit extra, like push yourself. Like, you're doing something for a while, and you're like, at some point it becomes very monotonous, and like, then there's always this thing that will push you to
Just go
want,
to
yeah.
extra mile.
But there are people who are very, very comfortable. I feel like comfort is a very tricky place to be, especially when you start off being very hungry and now we're eating good, and like,
Yeah, life is
yeah, life is good,
good.
but I mean, there could be more,
Yeah, that you are
so
not even saying because you are
yeah,
so
so I'll just
comfortable.
push boundaries, I push as far as you can go, and when you push and you feel like, okay, you can't push anymore, then maybe you could be okay with that.
That's
Uh,
exciting. So stay
yeah,
curious, push boundaries.
yeah.
Don't be comfortable with comfort.
Yes, exactly. That is a nice, a nice,
Thank you,
nice
thank you,
quote.
thank you. Don't be comfortable with
Yeah,
comfort. Yes.
yeah.
So the last question is for you to ask me a question.
Okay, okay. It would be in this fashion. Given your current state in life, if you were handed a blank check to kind of change something about your life,
Wow.
what would it be and why?
Make I adjust. Um, a blank check to change something about any aspect of my life.
Yeah, any aspect.
I think what I will write in the blank check is either 6 years of fully funded scholarships
Wow.
or
Okay.
a seat with either FIFA, WSL, or NWSL, and I will explain. So 6 years fully funded scholarships because I really want to further my degrees. Not because a friend was asking me yesterday because I'm currently preparing for an exam. I was like, "Oh, you want to Jakpa, Abi?" I'm like, "No, I really don't want to Jakpa. I'm just at the place where I know that I need a certain level of professional development."
That Japa requires.
And no shit to Nextford, but like it's not or Lagos Business School. It's not that kind. It's something from a solid university. And getting that as a Nigeria is very expensive.
Yeah.
I was at what's the name of this guy? I said what I said. I mean, did Jola, if Jola ever watches my YouTube video, will laugh. I actually asked a question that please, who's looking for someone that they want to sponsor? I am smart. I would get. I had admissions from University of Manchester, Exeter, Sussex. All of them are partial funding. And then so the remaining 10,000 pounds. Convert it to Naira is a lot of money.
On.
So if you give me a 6 years fully funded scholarship, first I'll go. I would not interestingly start with an MBA. I'll actually start with a master's.
Okay.
I want to do a master's in sports management because I'm really passionate about women's sports.
Really?
Then after that, I will do an MBA. That's like the business part of the sports management. So I'll probably use the 2 years, the rest of 2 years later, or maybe do an MFA. So MFA is Masters in Fine Arts for my creative part. So I explained the 6 years. So it's very strategic. So
you just need that check right now.
2 years sports management, 2 years MBA. I don't even want Harvard or Oxford or anything. A biscuit is fine, right? And then 2 years Masters in Fine Arts because I don't want the creative part of me to die. Okay, then thank you so much for coming on. It was really, really nice meeting you. Something random I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk about was Kera, but I've already said it. I really loved the design.
Thank you.
Really loved it.
I mean, I hope I would actually put it out because all of those explorations you see, like, is about like it's not about the creation or the it's more about how you finish and also the usability. And I'm always this person that I have new ideas. I'm on to the next one. There's this meme of like a child eating apples, in bits. you know.
Yeah,
So train it.
Okay then. Okay then.
But hopefully, yeah. Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching this. Please share this with all your design friends and even your friends that are not in design. I think that you shared a lot of gems that you would definitely enjoy. Till my next video, like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, enemies, neighbors, exes. Till next time, Emmanuel Faith.